and welcome to episode 9 of Ripping the Rack podcast. I am Tim.
Oh, Brian.
How you doing, Brian?
I'm all right, Tim. How are you?
Um, Generally irritated, ticked off, pissed off, bummed out. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, it's been a pretty eventful week since we taped our last show in Bangor.
It has, and I don't know if this is the time or the place to discuss the ramifications of people's actions, but we may go there, we may not.
I think the big topic of discussion this week. Well, let's get to our sponsor first before we talk about the
Absolutely.
big topic we want to talk about today.
Absolutely. So our sponsor this week is Oakland Park Bowling Lanes.
Home house,
located in the beautiful Rockport, Maine, on 732 Commercial Street in Rockport, otherwise known as US Route 1. Phone number 207-594-7525. Jason has done a great job there. He bought it, I don't know how long, 5 years ago now?
Oh, longer than that.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
6 years, 7 years? I
It's
don't know.
almost 7, I think.
Anyway, Jason Kaler.
I don't know if there's a guy that works harder at his bowling alley. Because he works a league night by himself and still bowls. He fixes the machines, he runs the counter, he
bowls well.
bowls 130 average doing all that.
I mean, he's second to me, but he does bowl well.
Well, I mean, everyone's second to Tim.
That's right. Humble Tim's coming out.
All right. All right, big topic of discussion. Let's
topic.
be the poopy pants. The Worlds is canceled. Yay. Thank you, 2020.
So
Another giant outhouse fire of the year.
I'm going on record, and I've been on record.
Mm-hmm. You're very vocal about your thoughts about this.
I understand the decision. I agree with the decision. I don't agree with the timing or the time frame.
I don't know why we couldn't have waited until September or October. Now, I know there's cries out there. People need to plan. I start planning for next year's Worlds when I get home from that year's Worlds.
Yes. Yeah, and that's my big issue right there. Is we've all known for a year when it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. And we've all known for 6 or 7 months now that this could have been a possibility. I mean, I know back in January we didn't think it was going to get this bad.
Wow, we are in July. I was sitting there going,
"Oh yeah,
you're right." So, I understand the decision. I think Davey Somerton and Dave Barber did as good of a job as they could do, given the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the border is closed right now,
and it seems like it's going to be for some time.
Yes, it would not surprise me if the border between Maine and Canada, contrary to popular belief, Maine is not a part of Canada.
We're not a province, eh? Although
No.
sometimes I think we'd be better off if we were. But
God, I wish I were. At times, especially now. Anyway, how do I word this? I understand that there were considerations that had to be done. I understand that people had to make plans, and I know there are people that are unemployed right now, here and in Canada. I do. I get it. I understand that money is tight for a lot of people. I get it. I don't understand why you had to cancel it right now. Again, not questioning the decision.
To be devil's advocate, maybe it'd be just delaying the inevitable.
Again, I don't.
And the other thing I can see is there's always that last minute flurry. We'll say,
Yep.
September, October. Are you bowling with anybody? Oh, you're not. How quick can you come up with this much? You want to go? And that would have been almost impossible this year.
Right. And again, that to me is I get it. I understand that there are Canadian teams that were not going to come down regardless if the border was open. Mm-hmm. And I understand that part of that is due to Canada has, their health insurance. Well, there's no need for health insurance up there as far as I know.
Their government healthcare program.
Government healthcare program will not pay if they contact. Nice, Colin. He did something up there.
Oh, he's got a drum. Mama bought him a new drum.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got a little John Bonham in him.
He doesn't want to work. He just wants to bang on the drum all day.
Nice. Little Neil Peart, you teaching him right?
I hope so. I hope he can.
Neil Peart.
Maybe I can teach him the part from Tom Sawyer.
Oh, today's I'm sorry. Anyway, so I get it that the Canadian government will not pay if someone contracts the coronavirus here in the United States while they're here.
Mm-hmm.
And as of right now, I also understand that you need to quarantine for 2 weeks when you get back.
So that would essentially mean they'd probably have to take a month off of work, essentially.
Essentially. So again, I'm not questioning the decision, and I hope Davey and Barbara understand that I'm not questioning the decision. I don't know. To me, there's little hope for anything with Candleton Bowling right now, and that was just a
international wise,
and that was just a dagger that just, it opened up some, it opened up some wounds. I mean, let's face it. I've been bowling in this for this would have been my 28th year. It's what I know in November, and now we don't have that.
Right.
And I understand Alfie's looking at doing a American tournament for that week. If you're going to cancel the Worlds because people don't want to put a team in and go for a week and whatnot, then I'm not really sure that tournament's going to be the best option either.
Right. I mean, and again, we got to practice what we preach here. Alfie's tournament may be a wonderful idea in September or October when things are maybe hopefully dying down. We feel a little safer gathering in large groups.
Yep.
No problem there. But
Yep.
again, that's a decision like the other decision you and I both feel together that could have been made later.
Correct. And again, yes, I have my opinions. I hope people understand that I'm not questioning the decision of canceling. I don't like it because I really wanted to bowl and I was looking forward to it. Love the team I'm on.
I was looking forward. It was in Bangor again.
And it was in Bangor, and I absolutely love bowling in Bangor.
Mm-hmm.
So, while I'm upset about the decision, I understand it. I'm not questioning that.
And I mean, that kind of sets a precedent now, too, for a tournament that I know you don't bowl in that regularly. You're a sub in, but the Can-Am.
Yep.
I mean, we're probably not. We didn't have a June Can-Am, obviously.
Yep.
It's a 2-leg tournament. We're probably not having the October one, sadly.
I would be very surprised if there was an October tournament.
I guess they are still having the International in Augusta, though.
In August.
In August.
The last week.
Well, it's
Last
not really
weekend in
the
August.
International. I guess we'll call it the New England this year. The Canadians can't come down.
Well, that is true. Unless they fly. Well, I don't know.
I don't even know if they can fly. They still have to quarantine, I think.
Well, I know they can go to other parts of the country by flying. I don't think you can cross by car or by foot. So
seems like by foot and car may be safer. But
one would think.
Yep.
So there's another tournament that a long-standing, long-running tournament been going on since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to miss a full year. You're going to have people next year, hopefully when it's back open, that won't be able to bowl for whatever reason.
Right.
I mean, it sucks. Another screw you 2020.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
There is another tournament, though, that bowling is still live and kicking up here in Maine. We had a good turnout for Evan's doubles tournament that he ran.
Yeah.
And it looked like he posted a teams tournament, and that filled in under 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bowling in it. I missed it. I had a blast bowling in the tournament. That doubles tournament. Holy crap, was I sore.
If you had a partner, you would have done okay.
Well, my partner bowled his average, and I bowled my average, and we got beat by a lot.
A lot.
A lot. That's capital A, capital L, capital O, and capital T.
Mm-hmm. No space. A lot.
No space, because that would just be the American way of spelling.
Yep.
No, I'm looking forward to the team tournament that Evan has on August 1st. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, it's always a good time to see friends.
It is.
Social.
Especially after what's been going on, when you're cooped up with your own thoughts and your own mind, and you just need some friends.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, looking forward to playing golf in a couple of weeks.
Oh yes, definitely. I hear the I guess they call him the Icon down there in Massachusetts. Might be playing with us.
The legend.
The legend.
That's a rumor. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm.
We might have a celebrity guest playing golf with us.
We could have a celebrity guest, which means that maybe we'll have to
bring the podcast equipment, grab a drink, sit on the clubhouse deck, and do an interview.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Okay, well, I know what we're doing for the taping in a couple weeks.
Road trip.
And it will be a road trip, from my understanding. Evan wants to play up in it's a course in Lincoln, which is just about in Canada.
No, not really. My wife's from Millinocket. That's a half hour north of there, so it's not that far. It's only 2.5 hours.
Canada land, pretty
no,
close.
It's the almost the county.
It's
don't say that Millinocket's the county. You'll get in trouble.
It's above Bangor. That's part of Canada, I think.
Well, you know it's a little bit of a ride in Maine terms because it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a ride.
It's a little bit of a ride, but we'll have fun.
We got some leagues going on again too for bowling. I just started my Tuesday night league at Oakland Park. It's a 9-pin no-tap league. I'm bowling with Mark Carrier and Mark's son Jordan. And for those of you that don't know, a 9-pin drop is a strike. 9 after 2 is a spare, and 9 after 3 is a 10. You can't get a 9. It makes it really interesting. It's a lot of fun. I've never bowled in a league like this. I've done plenty of 9-pin tournaments. I averaged right around 138 last week, so I was quite happy. 117, 47, 46, 45, 36. So.
How many strings?
5. 3-person, 5 strings.
Oh, okay. On Tuesday nights?
Yeah, Tuesday nights at Oakland Park.
Might have to come down and watch.
And then he's got his summer. Well, we used to have a huge summer league at Oakland Park. It was a 4-person mixed, and it was a full house. We had 18 teams.
Yep, on Thursday nights.
It was his biggest league of the year, and it was in the summer.
God, that's weird.
Yeah. But that obviously didn't happen this year. He is running a modified one. I believe he's got 8 teams, so every other lane, 4-person mixed.
Okay.
For those of you that can hear that, that's my dad, Ray Athern, up there playing with his grandson. You tell him to be quiet when he's playing with Colin.
No. And just for those, for those listener, just know that this week we are back to our normal sitting side by side, so I don't have to look into Brian's eyes as we have a discussion.
Right. It was a little too intimate for Tim, I think. We haven't taken our podcasting relationship to that level yet.
We haven't, but I feel like we took it to the next level.
It was a good show. I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
That was fun. I had a good time with that. It was kind of neat just to sit back and whoever was walking through the bar, let's grab them for a second.
Did we have any questions, Tim? Any listener questions?
We did not this week.
Okay.
I didn't look at the stats for last week. Again with July 4th. God, I can't even talk today. It is definitely a Monday. Holy smokes. With the July 4th holiday, you were off with the family. I was off doing things. I tried not to get online very much.
Yeah. It was decent weather. I mean, it was cold in Rockland up here. It was 56 and drizzly.
My effing heat came on.
In July.
This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's not a Harry Potter spell.
And then I'm pretty sure that it was buy one, get 275,000 for free fireworks this weekend. Which, I know you're not listening, but for my neighbors up at Gardner Lake and Machias, thank you so much for setting off the fireworks at 11:30 at night and waking Colin up. I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, that was nice of them.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures? Speaking of our friends in Massachusetts, did you see the pictures of Lynn, Massachusetts from a helicopter?
And the 8 million people that shot off fireworks in a no fireworks zone?
Yeah. America.
Fuck yeah. Jesus. Yeah. No, we had our neighbors went and filled up on their fireworks. And when I say filled up, I mean Angie and I and Jordan's girlfriend Olivia sat out front and watched fireworks for
probably an hour
and a half.
Wow.
And the funny thing is it was not just our neighbors. It was the other neighbors through the woods that was shooting them off. It was our neighbors. It was people down on the lake that was shooting them off. Several different people down on the lake. It was people up on Old County Road. We were surrounded with people just going nuts on fireworks in an area where fireworks are.
Considering we just got over a drought, I'm sure that was a wonderful idea.
Well,
no fire danger there.
No fire danger. Obviously.
Hey, getting back to bowling.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Sure.
Who do you think comes out of this quarantine as, I don't want to say a dark horse for like bowling better than they did before, but somebody who really could have used the time off and just comes out maybe like they used to bowl, or somebody who is maybe gets over that hump? You see anybody being a breakout bowler after all this is done?
Tim Matero.
I was going to say other than Tim Matero.
It's yes. I think, not that Evan is would be a breakout bowler, but I know he was struggling before, and I think the break will really help him.
That's weird because that's exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think the time off was good for him. I think physically and mentally. He does have some physical ailments from his high school sports and his ankle.
He bowled the Worlds the last 2 years with a stress fracture in his ankle.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. It's just an ankle.
Yeah, it's just a plant ankle at that.
Yeah. It's all right. Suck it up, Buttercup. I don't know what the hell that was, but apparently my computer is sending noises at us. Speaking of Evan, he just sent me a message.
Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Evan. So, I think from Maine, again, I could say Evan would be...
I think in Canada you see the reemergence of Tommy Wood. I think Tommy took some time off when his daughter was born. I think he was burnt out from bowling. And that was 3 years ago, but he had just started to bowl leagues again. And I think coming back, I think he's going to get the taste again. He's going to want to bowl really good. And that's exciting because Tommy's nickname's Game Day for a reason. Tommy gets up to bowl.
No, Tommy's a hell of a bowler, and he always has been ever since I've known him.
He's the only guy I know that started bowling left-handed, broke his collarbone, and learned how to bowl right-handed.
Well, ambidextrous.
Yep, pretty much.
Every place, Massachusetts is a little bit different because they just opened.
Oh, this week. Yeah.
Today, actually.
Oh, probably.
I think it's today. And some places aren't open yet either. Like Metro's still not open. I think they're not opening until next week, from my understanding.
Yeah, Riverwalk opened today.
Riverwalk. So out of Massachusetts, I mean, there's the problem with Massachusetts. There's so many damn good bowlers. It helps that it's the largest area of population too.
It does, yeah.
So there is more to choose from. A break like this is never going to hurt. I'm going to laugh when you call it an older bowler, but you take someone like Baker or Surratt. I'm not saying they're old because I'm older than them.
Or Bovair.
Or someone like that, but they've been around the game a long time. So you take a forced break, and that's going to clear up some of these ailments.
It might get your drive back too.
It could.
Not saying none of those guys don't have the drive to bowl good, because let's face it, they do. But
no. But you take someone like a Craig Holbrook, who is a Hall of Fame bowler. He's in his mid to late 50s. Various ailments, things like that. Something like this could really benefit someone like him, who's a hell of a bowler and is still a hell of a bowler. And just have fun and get back to having fun.
I think that's what's been missing. I've thought about this in a while. Why is bowling going downhill? Why are we not? Because I think there's everybody wants to have fun, but there are some people who legitimately have fun, and there are some people that only have fun when they're winning. And when they're not winning, it's bad. And I just think the attitudes are so different now than they used to be.
So Chip touched on this a little last week. there was more to bowl for in the 70s, 80s, and up until mid to end of the 90s. You could literally have a tournament every week. You could be on the road every week to a tournament. And it wasn't that you were going to go out and win $200 if you won the tournament. You were potentially winning $800, $1,000, and more, $1,200, $1,500, whatever it was.
Mhm.
So there was more to bowl for from a money standpoint. Now, frankly, like Chip, I never bowled for the money. Not to say that I didn't want to make money, but I never bowled for the money. I bowled for the titles. I bowled because I wanted to win. I wanted my name on the trophy. I wanted, those types of things. The money was nice. The money was secondary to winning. The difference is now I still want to win, but I can't make the money.
Yeah.
And
I think the problem is, and let's face it, bowling is expensive now.
it is.
If you want to go in and practice, let's say they do it $25 an hour. You're going to spend $25 to bowl 10 strings by yourself.
Yep.
Then you're going to spend the money to get there, because not everyone lives close to a bowling alley anymore. There aren't 40 bowling alleys in Maine anymore like there
Right.
used to be.
Right.
It's just expensive.
It is.
You can't go, and then by the time you, like for us, let's say we bowl in South Paris and we're going to bowl a team event like the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, the Derby starts at 9. We leave the house at 6:30. It's an entire day of your life gone. Not saying you're not going to enjoy bowling with your friends, but it's a day that you're not with your family. You're not doing this.
Yep.
It's the entry fee, which is reasonable. I've always thought every tournament down there that they run is reasonably priced for an entry fee. And then food, gas, drinks. You look at a weekend, and if it's a weekend bowling tournament like this, like the Can-Am, you're easily looking at $500
Absolutely.
after everything's done.
And you have to win just to make your money back.
If you win the Can-Am, I do believe you will make $500.
Yes.
Not counting the $120 it is to get in.
Right. Well, you get 1,000, but I mean, you're
Right,
splitting
but
that.
you split it.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
And I think that's why Kelly asked me one time, why don't you see more husbands and wives bowl together? If you bowl separately, you got a chance to make more money.
that's right. Yep. Unless now I know I can't remember if Russ and Sharon used to bowl together. I think they did.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Val and Al used to. Used to
Again,
bowl.
why wouldn't they?
No, I know.
Walt and
That's-
Judy.
Walt and Judy. Me and myself.
Well, Karen used to ask you to bowl occasionally and things.
No, I used to ask her and she'd say no.
And then she'd go bowl with Jim Singleton.
And then she'd go bowl
She
with
wouldn't
someone.
win.
And then she'd bowl with someone good. I tried to impart this on the Open Association people once, and I looked at them and I said, "So it's $75 for me to bowl." This was a singles event, okay? So $75 just to bowl, and that's to get into both handicap and scratch.
Because let's face it, if you won the scratch, you still made less than if you won the handicap.
Less. Oh my God, I won one, and I think I made $125 for winning, and it cost me $75 just to enter.
Mhm.
It was ridiculous.
You won the scratch, and the person that won the handicap, I believe, also finished like 10th in scratch, and they walked out with close to $500.
Yeah. Yeah. So $75.
It's like wiping before you poop. It don't make no sense.
It was $25 in gas to get there, so I'm $100 in. Another $20 in food. It was down in Saco at Vacation Land, so there's an hour and 45 minutes just to get there. So 4 hours to bowl, hour and a half back, hour and whatever it is. So
7 hours.
it's call it 8 hours.
It's a job.
Okay, 8 hours, and it cost me $125 to bowl. And they wondered why I didn't bowl more tournaments for the states.
Mhm.
And I tried to get them to understand that if you want me to bowl, you gotta make it worth the time. The fact that the association takes so much money from the bowlers and doesn't give back is asinine and criminal. not criminal. That's hyperbole.
Right.
I understand.
Mhm.
For those of you
We know
that,
what you're saying.
for those of you that like to take things literally, it's called hyperbole.
Hyperball.
Hyperbole. Um, I got into it, and you know, I was irritated, and that was the last time I bowled an open tournament for the Maine State Opens, because it just wasn't. I'm like, I don't mind. I don't mind paying to bowl.
Mhm.
I'm going down to win to try to win a title, but if I'm going to win a title, I got to get my money back.
You'd like to have the paycheck to go with it.
I got to get a little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Just and my problem is when I first got into the Opens, like the first singles tournament I won, I made $800.
Which back in the early 90s was
good.
Yeah.
You know?
It was honestly probably more than you made a week at work.
Oh God, I worked at McDonald's. I made $5 an hour in 1990.
Wow.
Okay, so yes, that was more than I made in a month.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, so it's cool to see Evan and Chip. Chip's calling this the year of the bowler. As far as he's concerned, up at Bangor. And he's already said they are going to run a bunch of tournaments.
And he said they're going to give 80% back.
80%. And someone made a comment to them that you're going to go broke doing that. And Chip just laughed and said, how? I'm going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And the bowlers are going to be happy.
And they're going to keep showing up. And
keep
more bowlers will
up,
show up. And
the bar is going to do great. And the food is going to do great. And, I wish more owners, proprietors, would understand that you don't have to charge. If a tournament's $75, you don't have to take 60 of that for lineage. You don't have to. You can make money, and you'll make more money by taking less and giving money back to the bowlers, because that's going to get more bowlers in.
It might even bring more bowlers into practice when there's not a tournament.
That's right.
Or maybe bring their families in and bowl when they're...
I don't know.
I understand you have to make money. I understand it's a business. I'm not trying to tell anyone to not make their livelihood by running a business.
Correct.
There's a difference between running your business to try and make money in open bowling and when a tournament comes through where this is what we do.
Yep, and I understand that tournaments are great for people like us who bowl a lot of tournaments. That's what we look for. But that's not the majority of your bowlers. So I understand that these proprietors, when they have a tournament, they're giving up open bowling.
And birthday parties.
Absolutely 100% understand that. All I'm asking is take a look at your schedule, find out when is the least amount of interruption to your business, and let's do something. I mean, look, I bowled the Pro Series this past year. I'm willing to travel to bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people that are willing to travel to bowl because we have to up here in Maine.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have to drive an hour anyways to any place we're going to bowl.
Bare minimum.
Aside from Belfast and Waldoboro.
I won't say anything.
I bowled in Waldoboro. And I wish Sammy all the best down there.
Yep, me too.
As many of you may not know, Waldoboro was sold earlier this year. Unfortunately, right before the COVID-19 outbreak. Dawn Benson turned it over to Sammy.
Yes.
She bowled down there. Long time. Young. Really loves the game. Bowled in the Opens.
It has a lot of great ideas.
Yeah, and hopefully she can just get the pinfall better.
Yes.
Because it would complete the package. It's a nice building. It's clean.
Great food.
Yep. Amazing seafood.
Yep.
And pizza. And it's, the parking situation is what it is, but if the pins would go, it'd be a great place to bowl.
The only problem is it's, an 8-lane house.
It is, yeah.
And
it's all synthetic. Approaches included.
If you could make it so you could slide, that'd be cool.
Or stop sliding.
Because whatever they put on there makes it like an ice rink.
Mm-hmm.
to me, I don't care if a house is fast. I don't care if it's juiced up. I just care if it's honest. If I'm throwing a good ball, I want to be rewarded for throwing a good ball.
And you're not talking 9 breaks every time.
God, no.
8 and 7 breaks are fine too. Put them together.
Yeah. I don't know. The last time I bowled in Waldoboro, I went, 360 or something like that in the league.
Yep.
Averaged 119 with a 360. Go figure that one out.
Hmm.
But I shot at splits all night long, and I talked to Don about that in Belfast one day. I was up in Belfast dropping something off, and we got talking about it, and he was like, "No, I've never done the plates, and I don't believe you need to do the plates." And I looked at him, and I just said, "And this is why you will never have any. You'll never have." Your bowlers.
Not to say there aren't good bowlers that bowl out of
There
there.
are some good bowlers. There are
Mark Webber bowls out of there, or
Yep.
used to.
There's
Paul and Lou Dyer.
There are some very good bowlers in Belfast and Waldoboro.
Yes.
There are some very good bowlers, but you've lost a lot of bowlers.
Man, Waldoboro used to have some real guns down there
Yep.
in Nix, and the New Bigs and Cat Gross, from what I heard, Bill Riddle.
Yep, you used to have some amazing bowlers. Well, Nick DePatsy took care of the place.
Well, I mean, when this will tell you how much Nick loved bowling. I mean, Charlie gave the eulogy at Nick's funeral. Charlie
Yeah.
Milan.
Yeah, Nick was a hell of a bowler, but he loved bowling,
Oh.
and he took care of the bowlers. And as a tournament bowler, coming up, that was one of our favorite places to go because, well, let's face it, we always bowled Sunday afternoons. That was always when Oxford Hills bowled, because Russ always wanted to know
What he wanted to be.
what he needed to be. That was the only tournament where we would bowl Saturdays,
Because the after tournament was just as fun.
because the after tournament, and then I'd end up driving, I don't know how many people home, back to South Paris.
Numerous people asleep in the back seat.
I don't know, sleep, drunk, whatever,
A form of sleeping.
form of sleeping, and it was just, but it was fun, it was fun, but again, a house where if you threw a good ball, you would be rewarded.
Oh, yeah.
And that's from a bowling standpoint. I know I'm preaching to the choir. As a bowler, that is what I care about.
I think it all starts with comfort, and I just can never feel comfortable in a place with synthetic approaches, because that's the most important part to me. Are my feet under me when I deliver the ball?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, for my money, and it's a toss-up between Bangor and Augusta on consistency, and the only reason I pick Augusta is there's a little more room on the approach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot more room. Let's face it, it's almost double. But those two, I never have an issue sliding, sticking. It's consistent every lane.
Yep.
A weird phenomenon I've noticed, speaking of approaches. Do you ever notice the later in the week it gets in the Worlds, it gets stickier?
Well, it's you're talking 24 teams with 7 to 10 bowlers per team in a confined space for a week. So you got a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, a lot of hot air.
Is that what it is, though?
Yeah.
Is that what's causing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the physics lesson,
Well,
Professor Tim.
Sometimes I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about. But that's the biggest thing, because when you get to Saturday and you're bowling and it's just 4 teams Saturday morning and 4 teams at noon and then 2 teams right after, there is no problem sliding.
You have a problem with the ball sticking to your hand occasionally.
I have a problem with ball sticking to my hand, and that's more because
It's whatever they use up there, though, is what you've said, because it happens everywhere in Canada.
Yep, and it happens in Bangor. It's a silicone or whatever they use for some reason, and I don't know if other people have this problem or if I'm just an idiot and have this problem. Is the ball will stick to my hand, meaning I could almost hold the ball upside down, or not upside down, but in my hand, and have it almost stick there. So for me, as I get later in the week in the Worlds, it becomes very difficult for me because the ball sticks, and that's when you'll see the ball start going to the left. I'll start in on the quarter pin on the left.
Then you got to move.
And no, I can't move. I get screwed up if I move. So what you'll start seeing is I will take that extra 5 seconds and I'll start blowing in my hand. Normally I blow in my hand, and that's just to get a little moisture, and that way I can grip the ball. This is I'm blowing in my hand from a little bit of distance, so I don't have the grip. And that's now, as I get later in the week, you'll see that a little bit. Evan will make fun of me or something. He'll start doing it, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm pulling a Timmy." I'm starting.
I did it. I got him when we were up there. I was shooting a 9 break. I don't know if you heard it, and I threw it, and I went, "Hurry!"
Oh, yeah. That's what Evan's favorite thing is when you yell, "Hurry!"
Hurry!
Just so you guys know, yell "Hurry" when Evan's throwing after he's throwing the ball. He loves it.
Oh, he absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
So you said you can't move. So are you? You don't move when you're struggling, but I know some guys say don't move side to side, up and back. Are you a forward and back guy? Will you move up and?
I will move. I will move forward and back a little bit. Very rarely do I move side to side. I've never been one of those guys like, you're shooting at the 10 pin and you'll see guys move way over to the left.
Hi, that's me.
But you have a more cross alley ball.
I know, but I go from standing on the right gutter to hugging the ball return on the left side at the 10 pin.
I do not. I stand. I know where I stand. I'm pretty much straight on the head pin. But if I'm bowling good and I'm not thinking about it, I kind of come at an angle, a right to left. Like I'll start center, but I end up sliding left of the head pin, and my ball will come. It's almost like a 10-pin ball when how they throw theirs out to the right and hooks and comes in.
But what's odd about yours is you throw it out to the right and it hooks in, but it's spinning the opposite direction.
It's spinning right to left.
Yeah.
And it's coming in right to left.
Well, it looks like, and I've said this for years, it looks like it's coming in left to right.
Optical illusion.
It's got to be.
It's got to be because
It might be your low center of gravity might be throwing it off.
That might be because I do have a low center of gravity.
You do.
And,
you do.
And
but that's good. It makes you stable.
And when my back's not bothering me, it's really a low center of gravity when I bowl.
I think that should be our new, by the way, Ripping the Rack post is that picture you had for your news article in the paper all those years ago where your knee is about 4.5 inches away from the floor, and I don't know if you could ever do that again.
I used to get down a little bit.
You could bowl too, but you guys got to get down, get funky.
I had to get down, get funky. But yeah, it's. Completely forgot what I was going to say.
Tim just had a brain fart.
Completely. Just no idea.
We got any tournaments coming up, Tim, other than Evan's team tournament we can talk about? I mean, everything's just opening back up, but...
No. They don't... no idea what's going on with the state tournaments.
Yeah, that was my next question. Are we even going to have state tournaments? Oh, speaking of that, we'll get back into the association talk for a minute. Why on earth can't Maine do their state tournaments like Massachusetts and New Hampshire, where you can bowl with whoever you want? That has never made sense to me.
Because we're Maine?
We have to do everything the hard way?
Yes.
I just can't see why when numbers started to dwindle and you started having less and less doubles teams, because houses closed and people had to go different places to bowl, why didn't you just open it up?
So...
You would know why the decision was made back in the day to make it that way.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me pose this question to you.
If it's about you and Mark Smith bowling together all the time or two loaded teams, I don't care.
No.
Okay.
Let me pose you this question.
Okay.
If, and this is hypothetically speaking, if I wanted to bowl in a state open classic tournament, not handicap.
Okay.
Open. Okay.
Just like the U.S. Open in golf.
Just like the U.S. Open in golf. And I wanted to, let's say it's in, I don't know, Big 20.
Okay.
Tournaments at Big 20. And let's say I bowl Oakland Park.
Not sanctioned.
Not sanctioned. But yet I want to give you $75. And I want to bowl in that tournament.
In the open part of the tournament with no handicap.
With no handicap.
You don't need an established average.
Correct.
Well, they say you do, but I don't know why. But
explain to me why I wouldn't be able to bowl.
I can't tell you, Tim. I've wondered it for years.
So I asked that 20 years ago. Well, let's see, 25 years ago when I moved to Rockland, and I posed that question, and the answer I got is, well, you have to bowl a league in a sanctioned house, and I said, why? Well, because that's the bylaws.
That's because they want their money from the sanctioned houses.
And I said, okay, but why? I don't need a handicap.
You got the parent answer.
And I want to give you money.
You got the parent answer because I said so.
And that's basically what they said. And I honestly looked at them and said, well, you guys are idiots. Every single one of you.
It doesn't.
Period. End of story.
It really doesn't make any sense to me.
Because they are for the house. That is my opinion. And, this is coming from someone that's been around bowling 30 plus years. I know these owners. I like these owners.
Mm-hmm.
I am friends with most of these owners.
We have bowled on teams with these owners.
Yep. You will never, there's nothing you can say that's going to convince me that this is a bad idea to allow anyone to bowl
in a scratch
portion of the tournament. All it's doing is bringing in money to that house. That's it.
It's an extra person. It's an extra entry fee. It's extra food, drink that's being bought there. If they bring their family, that's more extra people.
So Jason was not a part of the association last year. Said, hey, I've got 40 kids that I'd like to bring to a tournament. It is a scratch kids tournament. And they said no. 40 kids.
That wanted to bowl in a tournament.
That wanted to give you money. And you said
wanted to give up a Saturday of playing video games to bowl.
So you want to know what's wrong with bowling? There you go. That right there, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. Because they're not a part of the association, so I can't take their money. Oh, fool. You just lost 40 bowlers.
All American money's green. That's paper.
It's paper. Canadian money, not so much. It's plastic.
It's awful. It's awful. Not awful. Awesome. I love it.
I love Canadian money. I love Canadian healthcare. I want to move to
Canada.
Well,
no, Tim, Canadian healthcare is not free for you. You found that out that year.
I just said I want to move to Canada.
They won't take us.
They won't take me. I'm a pain in the ass. And I know it. But anyway, that's my take. Hey, Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year deal today.
I saw that. What's going to happen, though, when they can't afford to pay Tyreek Hill and Kelsey?
Well, one thing that's going to really show you is it's going to force Mahomes to really be the quarterback they need him to be. I think he's a great talent. I believe that. I think he's a great talent.
I mean, he showed that in that Super Bowl comeback.
Yep. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback.
I think he's the next Tom Brady. Honestly.
And he very well could be. I think, I am a Pat Mahomes fan. I am. I think it's going to force him to really be creative as a quarterback. And we'll see. I mean, Brady had to do it. I don't know how many times Brady had no weapons, and yet he would.
I mean, Tom Brady turned more marginal wide receivers and slot receivers into superstar talents.
Yeah.
You go through the list. Deion Branch, Troy Brown, Danny Amendola. Julian Edelman. He's going to look great as a Buck next year, huh? Isn't he?
He is.
I mean, you know my thoughts and feelings on the Patriots.
I know.
I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah, boo. All right, bring it on. Yeah, 8-8. I've heard it all. I agree with most of it. And Tim will back. I agree with most of it.
8-7-1 this year, baby.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a big year. 8-7-1. Yay, go Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
But the thing I saw was so funny was for guys like me, if Tom Brady does terrible, that's great. We can prove he's a system quarterback. And if the Patriots don't do well, we can prove it can be like, see, you were just one player.
But see,
and Pats fans are miserable. So it's a win-win for Cowboys fans.
The way I look at it is every quarterback is a systems quarterback.
To a point that is correct. Matt Castle proved that faults because Matt
Well-
Castle had a great system, and then boy, he
And
went
then-
to
oh boy,
Kansas City and
oh boy, yeah. Our friend Chad really liked Matt Castle. Huh?
Oh.
Chad Blake.
I
There you
think
go,
Chad
buddy.
tries to forget them.
Um,
Funny story about Chad. Chad's cousin is Nate Neely.
yes. Yep.
So it's
Yep.
very interesting to meet people through your regular life and then find out they know you through a hobby or they
yep.
know people
Oh,
that
yeah.
you know.
Yep.
6 degrees of separation, I
Yep.
believe is what that's called.
Yeah. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So no. So, I mean, look. I think from a sports standpoint, as you can tell, we've moved on from bowling. From a sports standpoint, if you're a sports fan, I think you're ready.
You're ready, but I
so-
don't know if it's a good idea. Have you seen all the positive tests?
Oh no. there's
The Red Sox just had 2 players today.
Oh, 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh.
The original 2 I just read about today. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I was
okay.
catching up, but
Okay. I think you're going to end up seeing cancellations. I think these
man, that Price Mookie deal worked out great for us, didn't it, in Boston?
so far it has. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Mookie for 60 games, but
well, Mookie will be back. Don't worry.
God, I
He's
hope,
going to play out his contract and come back.
I hope he's a free agent next year, and I hope the Red Sox.
You throw every bit of money you can at him.
Jesus, if they're smart, they will. Well, again, we're talking the Red Sox.
Well, this only helped. I can't even remember. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Forgotten your words.
I did. I can't English right now, Tim.
Words are tough today.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it only helped JD Martinez with his back.
Yeah.
He got a whole year off.
the whole year. Yep. You know, I miss. You know what's funny though? I really, in March and April, I really missed sports. Like I realized just how much I watched. But I got to tell you, the last month, I haven't missed it. I mean, I have, but I haven't. Like,
Well, in July, it's usually you're in the rut of baseball season.
Yep.
It's the All-Star game. I mean, I can say this honestly. I haven't watched an All-Star
No,
game
I
since I was about 13 years old.
it's been years.
I mean, I think it's hot garbage.
Yeah.
But anyways, you're in that rut in July. You're not really watching sports. You may catch a Sox game occasionally just because it's on. But there's no basketball. You're gearing
Yep.
up for football.
Yep.
Hockey's over. And hockey, to me, is arguably the greatest playoff experience
Oh my
in
God,
sports.
I love playoff hockey.
And I missed that this year. I
did.
always love
I
playoff
did.
hockey.
But over the last month to month and a half, I got to be honest, I haven't missed sports like I thought I would. I'm watching a lot of Netflix, a lot of Hulu.
I think what it made me realize is how much I use sports as a distraction
Yeah.
or an escape.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of stuff too. Kelly and I are watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. Love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Andy Samberg.
So funny.
He's a funny dude.
Funniest guy on that show though is the guy that plays Captain Holt, the
So,
police chief.
I've only seen bits and pieces of episodes. I really like it. But my problem is I start watching a show, and I'll watch like a couple of seasons, and then I'm like, oh, I got to watch something else.
Yeah,
And then
you
I
never
forget
go
about,
back.
and then I never go back.
Yeah, I have a hard. I can binge 23-minute like Family Guy episodes
Yep.
all day long.
Yep.
But something like The Sopranos or one of those big gritty dramas like Mad Men, they're 43 minutes apiece. You can watch like 2 and then you're like, ugh.
See, I've been watching a lot of NYPD Blue, going back because I watched that years and years and years ago.
I mean, that was right in your prime time, right? Right after high school, pretty much.
Yeah, that was it was in the early '90s is when it started. I don't remember the exact dates and stuff like that, but love the show. Oh, excuse me. Oh,
I've been
smells-
wanting to watch The
oh.
West Wing. I've never seen The West Wing, and I've heard it's good.
I have, but the problem with the West Wing, wow, holy crap!
Hey there, Daffy Duck. How you doing?
Hey there, sailor. I don't know if I can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Can we say that? Hey there, sailor.
No, I don't know. I said it. I said it in the Bangor episode, so I guess you can.
It's I don't know. I completely forgot where I was.
We were
going.
talking TV.
Oh, we were talking TV. Yeah, I should just stop taking crack,
Well,
smoking
Tim,
crack. You don't
don't
take it.
do drugs.
Why not?
So as we tell you guys, we typically watch bowling while we're doing these, and we've been watching the Candlepin for Dollars show from the mid
I
two
don't.
thousands.
God, I have no idea when this was.
We just the first one that was on was Sean Baker and Gene Gallagher. Gene and Gallagher actually upset Baker in that episode.
Yes, Gene went 401.
Yeah. Now we're watching Jeff Surratt and Sean Baker. And
neither one is bowling good.
well, they've thrown a lot of splits together.
Yes. I shouldn't say they're not bowling good.
There's
They're
a
throwing
very
lot
young
of-
Dave Godwin in the crowd right there.
Oh my God! Look at him.
Very young. I think this is from 05, 06 maybe.
What was he, 12?
I don't know, but
17, 18.
you can only tell
He was
because
young.
he's got all Celtics gear on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
He should play the wood here.
probably.
It's yeah.
I miss TV shows. I miss having a TV show to bowl on.
Me too.
I mean, I only made TV once, but it was a cool experience.
I wished I'd known about some of these shows, but this was back before, obviously before the internet, and well, no, the internet was around in 2005, but back when, like in the mid 90s,
Like the Channel 5 show.
like the Channel 5 show, or the
WBS Stars and Strikes or
yeah,
something.
the Stars and Strikes shows, things like that. I didn't know about them, because that was back. I would have gladly gone to the 38 qualifiers you needed to go to.
I tried to qualify for this Candlepin for Dollars show, and it was... I mean, I was going to school in Bangor at the time. I had to drive to Saco
Yeah.
on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock for the roll-off. And then I timed it so I was like, okay, it's the last roll-off before the actual big roll-offs. So I bowled well enough that I went down to Pilgrim Lanes, which is where the other qualifier was.
Yeah.
And I show up and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's me and like 6 other guys from the qualifiers. No, there's 32 dudes there. Because you could qualify apparently at every single house in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I threw a 600 and I don't think I was in the top 20.
Well, you kind of had to bowl some pretty big,
Yeah.
some pretty big shows, scores shows,
Right, shows,
whatever.
scores, yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm my mind right now is just so far gone from everything. It is.
It's a holiday week. It's typically a short week for people, but
So I want to tell a story
okay.
real quick, and
Yep.
this is gonna bum me out, but I'm gonna tell it. So I'm so far over the divisiveness in this country, really, really over it to a point where I'm done with it. There's no reason to be rude to people. So my wife and I are coming out of Walmart yesterday. Yesterday? I don't know. Must have been yesterday. Coming out of Walmart, we got our masks on because we're responsible humans that care about other people. And this lady is lighting into the Walmart worker because he asked her. Didn't tell her. Asked her to wear a mask. Now Walmart recently, meaning within the last 2 or 3 days, has put a policy in that
Corporate
policy that you must wear a mask in their store. All the guy said is, "Ma'am, please wear a mask." And she started going off, telling him that she was going to sue him and sue Walmart and going to a point where it's like, look, you have the option. You can either shop there or not. They're a private business. They have every right to deny you entry, as any private business in the United States does.
For any reason.
Restaurants, retail, doctor's offices, whatever it is, they can deny you entry, people. They do not need a reason. So the best thing you can do is just don't be an ass.
I mean,
Like-
you and I have worked enough, in our life with the public to know that it's getting worse.
It is, and and this is the thing, and I don't know if this is the right format to go over this. I think it is. I mean, we have a platform that we can talk about things, and I wasn't going to bring it up, I wasn't. Um, it's just I have seen so many people. People are more rude now. Period. End of story.
Than ever before.
Than ever before.
And I know the term is Karen, and I know it gets thrown around that people are Karens. And yet it doesn't need a name. You all know what we're talking about when somebody is being that way.
Yes. I'm tired of it. And we're gonna have a show one day and you and I have some really good positive stories about overcoming things in their lives. Okay. Everybody knows I am not a big guy. I'm not.
Right.
Okay. I'm 5'5" on my best day. I'm 5'5". I'm a short guy. I have been bullied or was bullied my entire life, all through school, by people because of something I had no control over.
I know that feeling.
Okay. To a point where it had a lasting mental effect on me. Depression, anxiety. I mean, I could go on. And someday we're gonna have this conversation. It's gonna be an hour-long podcast, and it's going to be about overcoming these things. But I'm just telling you because we only have like 4 or 5 minutes left. The bullying and the amount of bullying that I see online now is absolutely disgusting. It is ridiculous and disgusting. And I don't look at people, whether they're Republican or Democrat, or Muslim or Christian, or white or black, or any other, gay or not gay, straight or gay, or anything else. I do not look at people that way.
Right.
I look at people, are you an asshole or are you not?
Yes, exactly.
And that's how I judge people.
And I love my friends that they may vote opposite of what I do.
Yep.
I think we all want the same thing. I think we just have very different ways to go about getting it.
Yes. You and I have different views.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of my best friends. It's good that we have different views. But
we can be civil when we discuss those.
But we are civil. And again, I don't judge a person based on any race, color, creed, or whatever. I judge you on your actions. And the fact is that the amount of bullying and the amount of assholishness that I see online, on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever your form of social media, it is absolutely having an effect on people. Mental health, whatever you want to call it. And the crap that I saw at Walmart, even my wife said something to the lady. And my wife is one of the...
Angie won't say boo to a fly.
She's one of the kindest people I've ever met.
She'll hold it in and get into her car and then let it out.
But she, even she got so mad that she said something. And even I said something. And I never do that. Like, it was just grow up. And I felt bad for... There were 3 Walmart employees right there. And, the guy... I'm not going to say he was going to cry. But he looked like he was on the verge.
Worked up.
He was on the verge of tears, not because it hurt him, but because he was so mad and angry that customers are treating people that way. And that's the whole thing. You and I have ended every show that we've had with be safe, be kind.
Something to that effect.
Something to that effect. There is a reason why we end shows that way.
Because we believe it.
And it is disgusting to me that as a country, we have turned into the laughingstock of the world.
I saw a meme, and it's a joke, but it's not. The rest of the world is looking at us the same way we watched Tiger King.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yes.
We're a sideshow at this point.
It's...
We need to get our act together.
Yep. And I'm sorry, but Kanye announcing that he's running for president is just another... Come on. Seriously? Isn't it bad enough that the two main parties are putting up what they're putting up?
Right.
I mean, Really? Kanye?
We already have a 2-tent circus. We don't need to make it a 3-tent circus.
No. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. And that was, that was, you can tell that I'm not with it right now, and that's okay.
Mhm.
We'll get over it.
Everyone has off days. We push through.
We'll push through and go from there, and but eventually we have you and I have a platform that we can do some good, and
Mhm.
I'll shut up now because we're nearing the end.
Yep.
So.
No, I 100% agree with you, Tim, and we do need to have that show. And maybe we can have, if people want to send in stuff that they've overcome too, we'd love to have the stories.
We would.
And if you want us to share them, we will.
Not to interrupt you, but that was a hell of a shot.
Oh, Jeff Surratt just made the
2, 4, 7, and 10 with a piece of wood.
that wasn't any good.
No, that was a nice shot. Nice shot, Jeff.
Yep.
That was good for you.
So, what are your plans for the rest of the week, Tim?
Rest of the week, I got a busy week of work. Weekend coming up. Honestly, I have no idea. I know Angie and I are going to try to, take a day trip. Just her and I reconnect. Go out to eat. Just have some her and I time.
Kelly and I have that planned for the day after you and I play golf again.
Nice. It's needed.
Yes.
It's needed. Other than that, it's really just trying to get my mental health back to where it needs to be.
Yep.
Ultimately.
I'm going to take a relaxed week. Last week was pretty chock full of getting ready to go to camp for the 4th. And, of course, it's never a slow time when you have a 20-month-old running around. But bowling tomorrow night in the 9-pin league, and maybe I'll try and squeeze some golf in at some point.
Golf.
Yeah.
That's always good for the soul.
It is. Golf, a great way to ruin a good walk.
You know what though? It's funny. But golf, it is so much more relaxing to me now that I just don't get irritated anymore.
Because we know we're not going to be that good at it.
Not anymore. It's just it's just nice to get out.
It is.
So.
And that's what you guys should do. Get out, enjoy yourselves, have a wonderful week. We're just about out of time. Tim, anything else you want to add?
No, I got nothing. Just guys, please take care.
Be kind.
Be kind. Be gentle.
Be safe.
Be safe.
More Mr. Rogers, less Karens.
Yes. Well, unless you're my sister, and then
That's
you can
right.
be Karen because her name is Karen.
Right.
But don't be a quote Karen unquote.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Guys, have a great week.